Now let's take a moment to dive deeper into what actually happened, because the Herero and Nama genocide wasn't just an event. It was a blueprint. Between 1904 and 1908, German colonial forces in what was then called German Southwest Africa launched a full-scale extermination campaign, yes, against the Herero and Nama peoples. That order became Germany's first experiment in genocide. Tens of thousands were killed. Many were driven into the desert, cut off from water sources, and left to die of thirst. Those who survived were rounded up and put into forced labor camps, early precursors to Nazi concentration camps decades later. But the cruelty didn't stop with violence. It was economic too. Prior to the genocide, Germany demanded reparations from the victims. Yes, you heard that right. Historians say the German colonial government forced the Herero and Nama to pay fines, not for damages that Germany had caused, but for daring to fight back. They had to pay reparations. In total, they were made to hand over 12,000 head of cattle, a devastating blow to communities whose entire livelihoods were based on livestock. And what about land? Namibia remains one of the most unequal countries in the world when it comes to land ownership. To this day, a small minority, mostly white Namibians, descended from colonial settlers, own the vast majority of arable land. Meanwhile, many Herero and Nama communities are still landless, still dispossessed, still waiting for justice. This is not ancient history. This is the foundation of present-day inequality in Namibia. The genocide shaped the country's economy, demographics, and trauma. And that legacy still lives in policy, poverty, and yes, in memory. But for years, Germany refused to even acknowledge the genocide. It wasn't until 2021, more than a century later, that Germany finally admitted its colonial forces had committed genocide against the Herero and Nama. And as part of that acknowledgement, they offered 1.1 billion euro in development aid to be dispersed over 30 years. But here's where it got controversial. That agreement carefully avoided any mentions of the words reparations or even compensation. Legally, it was framed as development assistance, not accountability. And so for Namibians, that felt like a slap in the face.